3 windy days in a row that I've come home to old Clunky having been blown out or something. My wild guess about all of this is that there's no one-way flapper in the chimney for the furnace. So when it gets windy and stuff like that, some wind must come back down the chimney and backdraft down and blow out the pilot light or something. I don't know. Hopefully it's not a health hazard, potentially releasing CO into the... well, I do have a CO detector, so if it ever backdrafts that badly, the CO detectors will go off and then, well, yeah, kill the furnace. My bigger concern is coming home to it being so cold that there might have been issues with the pipes or something if this happens when it's really cold out. I don't know of any real ways to mod the exhaust heading out of the house that it's more one way, but anyways, let's do a video about relighting this thing. Because relighting these things is pretty interesting, especially when it's lit and you turn it on, you see the gas burn all blue and stuff like that. Or maybe I'm just kind of like my great-grandfather and I like knowing how things work. So the first thing to do when dealing with a gas problem is vent everything out after you ate too many beans. Well, no. There's plenty of videos on how to do this, but with old Clunky, the old little knob right there is what it's at, so it's at on right now. So we're going to just kill the gas completely for a couple of minutes, and then we'll let the remaining gas in the line dissipate if there is any. I think the way these things usually work is some emergency valve shuts everything off. We'll bust out the tripod for when we get this sucker going here in the combustion chamber. I just got to give it a couple of minutes for any gas still in the system to dissipate. The fun part is that with that little red button there, relighting this thing is basically like lighting a gas grill. We just got to do it the right way and hold down when we turn on the gas in pilot mode. We just got to hold it down long enough for this thermocouple that's behind this glass thing to heat up to where it's red hot, so it's hot enough to keep going. Anyways, I wonder if this wouldn't be so much of a problem if I left the thing going at a higher setting. I turned the heat way down today because I forgot it was going to be windy out, but, you know, I'm not using, as long as nothing bad happens to the house, I mean, I'm not using any gas, so less for the bill, and gas is already cheaper than electricity. So let's go do some other stuff, figure out how we're going to film this, because my tripod doesn't really come down this low, so maybe grab some books or something like that. And use the zoom on the camera to keep this away from the hot stuff. Alright, let's relight old Clunky. Okay, it's been a while. I scooted over to the store and back, and folks were like, "What the?" So, the idea of an adult, the idea of an adult commuter scooter is not too well known around here, so folks probably just thought I was weird, but whatever. This town has plenty of weird people as it is, so I'm sure it's not the wackiest thing folks have seen. Alright, let's get this thing going again. Let's get old Clunky back up and running here. The way to do that, the gas has been off for way longer than the recommended 10 minutes. So we're going to move this switch over to pilot. You can probably see a bunch of how-tos from actual gas technicians talking about this, but let's keep the tripod there. The thing to keep an eye on, let's bring it out a little and then zoom it in. Probably should have done this before I started recording, but alright, the thing to keep an eye on is the combustion chamber right here. I gotta push this in, get something going, and then hold it in until the thermocouple inside starts glowing red hot, which means that it's hot enough to actually keep going on its own. Sometimes, you know, you put some gas in the chamber and it'll work with that crappy little window on it. Other times you gotta, you know, loosen it or take it off to get some more oxygen in there. This is a combustion chamber, so we are talking fuel-air mix here. So, alright, ready? Let's push in some gas, and the gas is on. You see the spark going in there. There we go. We got a little bit of light. Okay, now the part that hurts, because you got to push this hard plastic thing in. So the thing is going, as you can see with the flame, but now we got to hold this darn gas thingy in until the flame has burned that thermocouple enough to turn it red hot. Otherwise, the thermocouple is not going to be hot enough, and that's kind of a safety thing, I guess, that shuts off the gas. So once that thing starts to glow red, and it looks like we're already almost there, then we can finally let go of this and turn the gas on the rest of the way. Now, the cool part is I ran this for a while. It actually looks kind of neat with the blue flame and everything. It's almost like a light show and stuff like that. I can see why people become gas technicians. So we got color in there yet? Because if I let go of this when it's not warm enough, it's not going to stay going. All I'm really doing is just feeding it gas. Okay, I'm starting to see some color in there. Let's see if this keeps going when I let... Oh no, let's wait for it to actually start glowing. Yep, here it goes. You see the red glow? Now it's definitely hot enough. Okay, so let's turn the gas up the rest of the way. Okay. Now you want to see? I'm kind of scooting around on the floor here. First, yeah, that's right. Well, let's keep this thing... Actually, let's take it off the tripod so you can see how cool this looks. I see why people become gas technicians. I probably should turn off the lights for this. Actually, yeah, let's do that. Ah, watch the strap. Alright, turn that off. Okay, you ready to see everything look all nice and blue? Here is what old Clunky looks like when it's doing something with the cover off. We ain't going to run it for too long here. Ooh, pretty. So, before that gets too hot, let's tighten that back up. The big problem, watch it. Before this gets too hot, let's tighten this back up. There we go. The big problem I have with this wing nut and why I turned it out of the way, this is the ignition right here. If this wing nut is too close when you push the red button, it just arcs onto the wing nut and goes to ground. It doesn't actually help start this thing. Look at that, nice and pretty. Look at all that gas going back and forth, just burning up and heating the place. Now, I guess some of the noise when you turn it off is actually some of the residual explosions as it cools down. So we cut the thing off. Pilot keeps going. See if it's going to make any clunky noises. No. Oh, there it goes. I just don't want to run too much heat. Tap, 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 tap. There it goes. It's had some big booms before where you see a little explosion in there. Controlled burn, people. Controlled burn. I do want to know, however, why it is that windy days seem to blow this thing out. Or maybe it's the electricity sags, and maybe, if there are electrical issues that could potentially cause the thing not to spark when it fires back up, the pilot light just shuts off. When it's warmer out, before we turn this thing off for the spring, we'll have to test it. So, alright, let's put the... Whoa. Yeah, let's put the cover back on this thing and hope this thing stays lit. Okay, we're back in one piece. Let's keep this thing nice and warm. Oh, no big boom this time. Alright, let's not melt the camera. I think because we already warmed everything up, we didn't warm it up enough in order for it to really go up. So, I think I'll leave this thing turned up a little more tonight. It is supposed to be more wintry temperatures out here. Maybe if it stays warm enough, there won't be issues with the pilot light. Worst comes to worst, I got an electric Mr. Backup that I can put on a very thick cable coming out of the hairdryer outlet in the bathroom. But it shouldn't be cold enough for the pipes to freeze tonight. Because even if this thing goes out, the hot water heater is still doing stuff down in the basement, or cellar. There is a difference between a basement and a cellar. Just ask anybody who's in construction or anybody who does building inspections and whatnot. Alright, put that light back on. Old Clunky is back up and running. That's what this video is about. Now that this is all taken care of, MultimediaJay out.